Well, it's Chris Old House, day 39, and today I got a bit of a surprise. Okay, so I'm back at the rear of the building with this really pretty color coat that has gone on here. You can partially see it. It's kind of a, I don't know, sage color. That is the final coat on there, but it's half dry and half still damp, so you can't really get a good sense of it, but it's going to be quite pretty when it's done. Now this is that one of the old windows, the tree right on the edge of the house, and then where there was a window, and here is the surprise that I got today. I took out this window. Here we're looking into the back bedroom here, and the sill is what you call a little bit rotted. I think that's a little bit of rot on this sill, and you see how it's, can you see it moving? So I'm going to gently slide this sill out and replace it with a new one, because otherwise it would be a ridiculous mess of trying to use Bondo or something to fix it, which is not going to work. But but what's interesting is this is the window that was in here, which is, I don't know, 25 years ago somebody put in an aluminum window, and it was sitting right here. And if they had flashed it correctly or even just installed it correctly, it wouldn't have rotted out the entire sill, because if I walk over here to the original 110-year-old window here, this casement window, dead solid, perfectly fine, no rot at all, not even a little bit. So it pays to do it right. All right, I have removed the sill. Didn't take much, just yank. So we can work with this here, but over here, a very deep hole. But there's the stucco on the outside, the sheathing, just like in the laundry room. Actually, there wasn't any sheathing here. There was just this material with wire for the backing, so there's no sheathing. Here are the studs, and here's the plaster on the inside. Well, we're gonna let that dry out nice in there, but let's see. I am going to fashion a new sill out of redwood, like I did for the door in the front. And okay, now going a little further, I am on the inside right now. This is, can you see anything down there? That is where the rotted out the entire piece of the 2x4. More impressive work by vermin. This is why you don't leave your structure covered in vines, and you have a gap between the dirt and the side of the building, because otherwise the termites get right in. Now, I was going to, like, I don't know, sort of try to fill this, or maybe piece in a piece or foam or something down in there, but then I realized that this thing, I don't know if you can see it or not, it's pretty loose, see? And the only thing holding it in is 2 nails right there. I'm going to take out these nails, or cut them off, and see if I can just replace this whole piece of 2x4 in here, because it'll give me a nice solid surface, and I'll put the other thing on there, and then I'll only have a certain amount to fill in instead of all this craziness. Okay, so the 2 nails came out, easy peasy. Actually, was actually able to pull them out, and then this just popped right out for me here. Look at that. That is incredible. Listen carefully. You can hear all the stuff from the termite poop falling out. And here is what's going on down there. It seems to be just bit by bit over time, what was in here just fell down. But the wall, just a little bit of mold, is relatively dry. Never got water damage. This is the interior plaster wall. Never got water damaged after all that. And the outside, as you see, there was never any sheathing. They just put up the studs of the building there and put this paper with the wire across those studs, and then they put the plaster on. Is that interesting? No sheathing. It's the way they used to do it. And so now I have cut a piece of redwood that I had left over from the front sill when I bought a 2x6 instead of a 2x8. I cut the width and length of this piece. I stuck it in there. It's got 2 screws holding it in. And then I foamed everything else all the way around. And now I'm going to put in the sill. And now the sill is in, lined up. Cut the bevel on the back and the front. It's lined up with the wall. Put a piece of wood in there to make sure it tips downward on the outside. Foamed down there. When that dries up, I'll cut off the excess. That seals the air gaps and acts as an adhesive. And I foamed everything there. And here it is on the outside. Hopefully you can see that okay. You can see down here. The foam is filling in any little gaps that there are. Let me see underneath. Oh, there's a little bit sticking out there. I think I'll caulk under there later on, but I'm going to get the guys to just throw me a little bit of color coat in these areas, which should solve the problem. And this foam's doing what foam does, which is expand, and then when it hardens, I just chip it off, and that'll give me a perfect backing to fill in the stucco there. But all things being equal, a couple of hours and a little bit of ingenuity, and we have a sill. And so, where are we at now? We're in the kitchen. We're in the kitchen because the air conditioning is off, and it is extremely hot. And I don't want to run up and down the ladder and work near the ceiling, caulking things without the air on. I know I'm spoiled. But what I'm doing is taking the microwave down because I need to work on the under cabinet lights. And I have to do a little reworking because one thing I didn't think of when I was doing this is here's your switch, blink, the lights go on. That's all well and good. And there's the wire that I have to just run up to the top there to power the lights. But the lights also have to be over there and over there, which isn't that big a problem. But this over here is because, well, it's all going to work off the same switch. Okay, so got to get a wire from here up, over, and down. Right there. And, I mean, I could go up inside the cabinet, but you'd see the the BX inside the cabinet and over, and then you'd see it inside there. And that's not good because you don't want that sticking there when people are going to be living here. You open a cabinet door and there's a wire there going down through the cabinet. Just not good. So I'm going to go through the wall up above where the microwave is, so I don't have to worry too much about it. However, I do need to run another piece of BX from this switch somehow up-ish, over-ish, and over here to get to the other side. So a little bit of surgery, which happens, but nothing too complicated. And so that was the best solution right there. I just figured, well, I'll just open it up right across there. And it's a good thing I did too, because there is blocking in the wall. There's blocking in the wall right there, but I have to get a wire up to there. I have one of my wires, ironically, my wires that I put in right in between here. And but then there's all kinds of stuff going on here. There's like, I don't know, part of the early structure of the building and whatever the heck it was that they did here. So I'm going to have to get a wire over to here. So I got a bunch of stuff to do. And well, that's going to be it for a very productive day. Some different things. But let me show you where things are at. So I got all the holes drilled and notches taken care of for the metal that's got the metal sheathed wire that's got to go through here, up here. Even this crazy one, I had to drill a hole up in there. That's gonna have to emerge out there. Made it kind of big so I can get the wire out, and I'll have to do a little bit more patching. So that's taken care of. And on the outside, the stucco is done. This side is finally finished. It's gonna take a little while for that to dry up. I think it's gonna be, well, I think it's gonna be close, but I don't know, because this is the existing, and this is the light color is sort of what it's going to be. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Although I think it is the same color coat, although it is a few years later. So we'll see what happens. But this over here looks incredible. Look at that. Nice, neat job. That's a color coat, which is a nice sage green. And they're trying to figure out what they want to do for the trim for the trim here. But see how nice that looks. And right down there is where my hot water heater is going to soon go, but not before I get a lot of other stuff done on the inside. But wow, really looks great. And then back here, this wall also looks absolutely fantastic with the new color coat done. And what's amazing is they had to go around those conduits to do the color coat, which is actually would have been it would have been hard to take those conduits off, though not really possible, but they did their best that they could around it, and it looks smashing. Got this window here, which you saw earlier, is fine. The sill is fine, and here, oh, we're looking right into the house. So hopefully nothing crazy goes in there tonight. But these the foam is nice and hard now, and this sill is very solid, and that's done. So a bit of a wacky day, but a good day. So and I just had some pizza and some pistachio ice cream. Oh, so good. Anyway, thanks for watching the show. Hope you're enjoying all the things that are going on here. More tomorrow. Thanks very much, as always, for watching Chris Old House.